There's an old business adage
Okay.
that says cash is king. And that's true in very many respects. Cash is the only thing that can pay your bills. It's the only thing that can pay your overhead.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that can pay back loans or debt service or creditors or employees.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that can do those things. And so if you run out of cash, if you run out of liquid assets, which is anything that's easily convertible into cash, you're done. Simple as that. And so this concept is called purchasing power.
Okay.
And
how much cash you have at one time?
How much cash and how much, well, extend it out a little bit, what is the level of liquid assets? So cash or cash equivalents.
Got it.
Or things that can easily be sold or converted into cash.
Okay.
That your business has at its disposal.
Okay.
If it has a lot, you're actually in good shape. If it doesn't have enough, that's when businesses fold. So if you can't pay your suppliers, if you can't pay your customers, if you can't pay your creditors, you're done. Game over.
Yeah.
So essentially, from a financial standpoint, the moment your business runs out of purchasing power is game over. Okay? So everything that you can do to avoid getting to that point of running out of purchasing power is fine.
I guess that's
good.
Why like we were talking about with sales, why people will sell things for less than what they bought them for just so they can have a little more cash.
Yes.
Probably to pay off a creditor.
Exactly, yeah.
Got it. Okay.
So it's better for a business to, instead of keeping hold of inventory, which inventory has a cost.
Right.
Instead of keeping that inventory, they'll sell it for as basically what they bought it for.
Yeah.
Either wholesale or even below that.
Just to get some cash.
Just to free up money.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they may not be able to pay their bills or they may not have enough money or credit in order to order their next round of merchandise that may sell better.
Right.
So you can think of purchasing power as your cash or all your liquid assets, plus think about your outstanding credit as part of purchasing power too. So, for an inventory type of business, your purchasing power includes your ability to purchase merchandise on credit with the expectation that you'll be able to pay that back out of cash.
Yikes.
Okay? So the moment your total debt service, which is how much on a regular basis you must pay to a creditor, if your purchasing power falls below that too, you're also screwed.
So many ways.
Yeah, there is. And, this is getting to the point where, and we'll talk in systems about the concept of a selection test or, survival of the fittest, which is actually much better described as death of the unfit.
Okay.
Running out of purchasing power is why businesses fail.
Yeah.
That's one reason. The other reason is they never reach the point of sufficiency. Even if they are bringing in, or they have enough to continue.
Right, they're spending.
It's just not worth it to continue. Or even if you're cash flow positive, if you're slaving away, 22 hours a day to make $5, it's not it. Actually, the three primary causes of business failure, one is running out of purchasing power.
Makes sense.
The second is not reaching sufficiency, either by running out of purchasing power or, it's just we're not making enough to make it worth our while to do this.
Yeah, sure.
The third is actually, and we'll talk about this when it comes to working with others, an irreconcilable dispute between founders of a company.
Really?
Is the third most, well, actually probably more than that, most common reason. Even very successful businesses that have enough purchasing power and they are sufficient fold.
That's interesting.
So yeah,
pick partners wisely then.
Yes, that's actually one of your biggest business risks.
Jeez.
if you're starting a company with founders, and it's your partners. Most of those issues, some of them are operational, but there tend to be a lot of communication issues around finances too. What you're investing in, what you're spending on, all of these things. It's a hotbed of potential conflict.
Sounds like marriage advice. Cheers.
Yes. So it's your purchasing power is hugely important. The rule cash is king is extremely true. And so at any given point in time, you want to be able to look at your financial statements. And, whether you go through the full bore, balance sheet, cash flow statement,
Right.
all of the fancy formalized accounting things, or you're keeping track on a cash basis and you know how much margin, how much cash, and how much credit you have to play with. That's really important.
Okay.
And, as a business owner or an operator or a manager, you have to be very vigilant on how much money you have to work with.
Absolutely.
Because if you overextend that, business will go down very quickly.
All right.